Hello everybody, welcome back to another video for the day. Now we're going back into r/Tales of Neckbeard because you know everybody likes story time. But beforehand, be sure to like the video, comment down below during the video if there is something you would like to discuss, and afterwards consider subscribing. Alrighty, let's go. Our first story comes to us from username JuanK713, Karate Beard Part 1. Hey everyone, it's been a while since the last time I made a post here, and to be honest, I thought I wouldn't post here again. After all, I didn't saw neckbeard again, and if I'm not wrong, he moved away to another city. Now today I came to talk about a completely new story that's currently occurring. PD is all conversations have been translated from Spanish to English by me. Now context, I'm a brown belt in karate. My dojo is part of the Japan Karate Association, or JKA for short. I won't explain all about it and you can Google it if you're interested. And all I'll say is that it's a very good place to learn, so that's why I travel from my town to the capital city every weekend to receive my 2-hour class, and that's also why I'm not the only one doing this. I present you with this. Karate Beard is KB. Now, our story starts midway October 2019. My dad drops me at my karate class. It's Saturday, 8:30 a.m., just in time for class. I go in and notice a new face. That's our neckbeard. We all get ready to start, and our sensei, SN, explains that KB is a new student and blah blah blah. Now, to be honest, on first glance, he didn't look like a neckbeard at all. He's not overweight, but also not slim. He has a big dude. He was properly shaved and smelled very good. He looked nervous and shy, which was understandable. It was his first class on a place filled with a lot of new people. We received him with open arms and everything was normal until I think late October or early November. Around this time, things got weird. Now, KB was my age around this time, 16, and since we were only 4 people in this class on this age rate, I thought it would be a good idea to be friends with him, since the other 2 are a dude who is a total butthole, TH, and a girl that comes mostly to the Thursday night class. I don't go to that one since it's too late for me to arrive on time, but sometimes comes to the class on weekends. Let's call this girl MR now. To be honest, she is very pretty. I haven't talked to a lot of her, mostly because she doesn't come to a lot of classes, but I know she is a very good person in general. It had now been almost a month since KB got in our class, and we has actually never spoke to one of the others. We both acknowledge each other's existence, but never spoke directly to one another. Now, on this specific day, I decided I would finally speak to him, and here's how the conversation went. Hey bud, how are you doing? Oh, hi, I'm doing fine. How about you? I'm fine. Class is about to start. What if after we go to the subway? I'd gotten enough points to get frequent customer cards for a free sandwich nearby. I invite you to a sandwich and maybe we could talk a bit. How about that? Yeah, sure. So basically, class went as normal. We went to eat and had a nice talk. We spoke about anime, video games and stuff, and it was actually a lot of fun. Things started to get weird the day he met MR. I arrive at class early and see MR is already there. We talk for a bit while class starts. Around 5 minutes later, KB arrives. His eyes instantly fall over MR. He looks at her while she gives him a hand for a handshake and says this. Hi, I'm MR. You must be new. Nice to meet you. Instead of going with a handshake, he kneels down, grabs her hand, kisses it, and then says this. Bonjour, madame. Nice to meet you. I'm KB. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven, my angel? MR just retrieved her hand quickly while laughing nervously. It was clear she was not uncomfortable. KB just remained there, still in the same position, looking up at her like expecting an answer to the question. Everyone in the dojo, it's not a big room and we're only like 5 people there, looked at the scene. An uncomfortable silence filled the room. MR simply said, haha, you got me there, very funny, and walked to her backpack before KB could reply. Sadly for her, she was assigned to work with him since both of them are the lower belts in the class. KB being a white belt and MR being an orange belt. The rest of us are purple, brown, or black belts. Every time MR showed up to class, he will try to compliment her or try to kiss her hand, and MR started to show more to class because there was an exam coming mid-January 2020 and it was late December already. I'm gonna end this here. Something happened after this, but I want to see what else happens before I write it. All I will say is that there is a second neckbeard to the story, and I'm legitimately looking forward to that. Expect part 2 midway February or somewhere around that time. I don't know, depends on what else happens. I really hope this ends up with him getting kicked out of karate class. That, or maybe he'll just quit when he realizes that there's no blades to study in the weapons course. Our next story comes to us from username Jordy183. Neckbeard tries to gatekeep Stranger Things. Hey everyone, this is my story about a neckbeard I encountered at GameStop. Just a bit of background information. I am 14 and in love with all things Stranger Things. I am rewatching the show for like the 3rd time. Now to the story. So me and my mom were going to GameStop to try and find me a new game for my Nintendo Switch or any cool things. I was wearing my Stranger Things hoodie that says Hawkins Middle School AV Club, and it's my favorite hoodie. My mom stayed in the car and let me go in because she knew I wouldn't be in long. So as I walked in, I could see a few people in there, but not a lot. One guy stuck out more than any other, and he was wearing a long trench coat, has really long greasy hair, and a big old neck beard. The GameStop was pretty small, and he was on the left side and I was on the right. He must have seen my hoodie because I walked in, he started moving over to me. Keep in mind, I'm 14 and he looked about 17 to 20 years old. I was looking at the Switch games when I feel and smell something come to me, and it smelled so bad I had to hold my breath for a second. I heard an, excuse me, is that a Stranger Things hoodie? The guy was trying to talk to me, so me being a polite person I turn around and says, yes it is. I am a very awkward person. I didn't really know what to do. Oh, I didn't know you were a girl. Your hair just doesn't make you look very ladylike. You should grow it out more like a real woman. This guy really said this to me, and it kind of made me upset. I didn't like when people call me a guy. I know it happens by accident, but still. Oh, no, I really like my hair. By the way, my hair is a pixie cut, shaved on the side, and looks down at my hoodie. If you're a real fan of Stranger Things, I must ask you some questions. He started to stroke his beard, and I had no idea what to do. I've never had this situation happen to me. Okay, so what is the board game all the boys are playing throughout the show? He asked me. D&D, I say slowly. He looks at me a bit intense, and I was a bit nervous and didn't know what to do. Okay. In season 3, how old is everyone? Now, age is something I am not good with when it comes to shows and movies. Even though I've watched the show many times, I still ain't good at ages. I don't remember. I shake my head and walk back a bit. He scoffs at me. Ugh, you're not a Tri-fan. You don't deserve that hoodie. I bet you don't even know the main characters' names. He crossed his arms at me, and I was getting really scared. My anxiety kinda started to come on, my foot was tapping like crazy. I bet you only wear it for the hype so you can try to be cool, but I am an actual fan of my shows and movies, mostly anime. You probably aren't into anime. Maybe you should get into anime. I can give you some animes that maybe you kind of people would like. He said that like it was normal, and I just stared at him. What do you mean your kind? I got a bit mad. Well, I mean people who are thespians might like that since you are one, right? I was so mad when he said that. He thought it was a thespian because of my hair. I shook my head. No, I'm not a thespian. I have to go to my mom is waiting for me in the car. I put up the game I was thinking about buying and walked around him, and I headed out the door almost in tears. I was so upset about what he said. I understand it was an honest mistake, but I still got upset. Yeah, so that was my first encounter with a neckbeard. I have always read stories about neckbeards and gatekeeping. If you have any questions or anything, you can ask. Bye, y'all. Update. I forgot to mention in my last story that the encounter happened a few months ago. Okay, I didn't expect to have to update this story, but I figured out something that makes me kind of worried. So the neckbeard is at my school. So I'm a freshman in high school, and today you will never guess who I saw this morning. So really quick, I play lacrosse for my school, and I was dropping my stick off at my 4th period, so when the day ends, I can walk to the field. Anyways, my sister dropped me off at school. As I was walking in, I had to stop and fix my bags and stick. Once I was done, I started walking in, and as I was walking, I turned to see, yep, you guessed it, the ST/anime neckbeard. He didn't notice me, thank God, so I hurried to my 4th and stayed to talk to my teacher so I could give him time to get past my hall. Since I was on the 400 hall, it wouldn't take him much time to pass me. I guess the guy is a senior at my high school. I must have underestimated his age or something, but I really hope I don't see him anymore. Yeah, that guy definitely seems like the perfect person to bring around parties. If you don't know every single little bit of the lore for anything, he's gonna badger you on it. Perfect. Also, dude, come on, learn how to use periods, please. I'm sorry, but come on. This story honestly was really hard for me to record, despite it being a short story. Our last story comes to us from a username, let's call it whatever. He thought I was cute. Spent a while deciding on whether or not to share this story, so I'm posting this on a throwaway account just in case. Also noting that even though this is a throwaway account, I'm still good friends with this person as he is trying to better himself and has helped me out when I really needed it. That being said, if you guys want more, I have quite a few stories about him. I'll post them later on this account. I'll be referring to him as FNB, former neckbeard. Last notes, I'm typing this on a shoddy laptop, so forgive any typos, and at this time the story starts as about 5 or 6 years ago, so some details are a bit shoddy, but I'm remembering them as best as I can. Now to the story. I went to 2 different high schools, and I met FNB in the second one my sophomore year. At the time, I had no idea what a neckbeard was, but this guy was the definition of it to my obliviousness. Loved anime, had the beard hat, while not only on his neck, it for sure did go down his neck, strange smell, I'm sure he showered, so I could just be the body chemistry was off, and had a crush on just about every female that moved, including myself when I identified as female back then. I was also in roleplay groups with him online, which I introduced him to, and played D&D with him and our friends. That will be a story for a separate post if you guys want it. The second high school was the one I'd wanted to get into since it was an art school and my dad used to attend it before it changed locations. It was a theater major and was really nervous my first day there. Granted, it wasn't too bad since there were some kids that I knew from my arts magnet middle school when I was in the 7th and 8th grade, but I didn't talk to them, so while we knew each other and greeted each other, we didn't really interact the first day of sophomore year. At this school, sophomores had their arts class first, which means my first class on the day was theater. As I said, I saw some kids I recognized and said hi to them before sitting down and waiting for everyone else to arrive, including the teachers. I am very shy when first meeting new people and don't really enjoy being the center of attention, which is ironic for a theater kid, I know. So I wasn't interacting with anyone that arrived, at least until the actual class started. Of course, everyone knows that most classes at the beginning of the year start with introduction games and team building exercises, especially theater classes. I don't exactly remember what the first games we played was, but I was anxious and nervous to start, and I could tell that most of these kids actually already know each other, so they were pulling it off better than I was. Typically, when I'm anxious and I can't escape, I start making bad jokes to cope with the situation and try to make people laugh. FNB was the first person to genuinely interact with me and calm my nerves, etc., and I remember laughing and enjoying myself towards the end of the class thanks to him, and to this day, I'm still thankful for that, even despite how being aware of his true intentions at the time. He became a best friend of mine despite the shot and strain our friendship went through over the years because of how his attitude used to be, and he was my first real friend at that new school. Flash forward a few years later, we were either just getting out of high school or already out and I was starting college, I can't remember, and we were talking about our memories of high school. I brought up how I was glad he was my first friend and made me feel comfortable, and he asked if he could be honest with me, and I said sure. He told me that the original reason he'd become my friend then was because he thought I was cute and wanted me all to himself, that he didn't want anyone taking me from him. My thoughts went to, wow, what the frick, okay? But to my credit, I laughed it off and made some sort of offhand comment that I don't remember, but we found amusement in. Sorry it's so short, but I do have more stories about him and a story about a D&D campaign if you guys want me to share them, or maybe I'll just go ahead and share them later if I decide to. Anyway, stay beautiful, stay lovely, and have a great day. That's gonna have to be it for the video. If you had liked what you had seen, be sure to like the video, comment down below what you liked about the video, and consider subscribing to the channel. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.